For program 3 in Unit 4, we're going to modify the program we created in the previous problem so that it gives us word scramble puzzles adjusted to our level. We'll start the level at 3, meaning that we'd like the program to produce a puzzle of 3 letters. Then, every time we get a puzzle correct, we'll let the level increase by 1, so that if we get a 3-letter puzzle correct, the next one will have 4 letters. Every time we get a puzzle wrong, the level will go down by 1, so that if we miss one with 6 letters, the next time it will give us one with 5. What we need to do is let the group of words that we use have always the right number of letters. We'll imagine that somehow we've allowed words, instead of being one single list, to be a dictionary, the keys in which are numbers of letters and the values of which are lists of words that have that number of letters. So if we look in the words dictionary using the key 3, we'll get a list of words of 3 letters. Everything else will work correctly. We'll choose one of the 3-letter words, scramble it, present it to the user, and so on. In order to get all of the lists of 3-letter words, 4-letter words, and so on, we'll use a slightly different function than we did before. Let's call the new function word lists, since it gives us not just one long list of all words, but separate lists divided by the number of letters. Here's our original word list function. Let's modify it. We'll call it word lists. What we return now will be not a list, but a dictionary. We'll connect to the file, go line by line through it. In each line we'll go word by word. And now the question is, what should we do when we have an individual word? First, we need to know the length of the word. Let's call that length and compute it here. Next, we need to check if there is already an entry in the dictionary. For example, suppose this is a 5-letter word. Let's check to see if 5 is in the dictionary. If it is, then we already have a list of 5-letter words, in which case we'd like to add this to the list that already exists. Here's the existing list, all the words of, say, length 5. All we need to do is add the new one. On the other hand, if there's no entry yet in the dictionary for words of this length, then this is the first word of, say, length 5. In that case, the value associated with the key 5 should be a new list consisting of just one word, the one that we're currently working with. This should be all we need to do. Word lists now takes the name of a file and returns a dictionary consisting of all words broken into lists by length. Let's try out the program. Here's a 3-letter word. We can get that one correct. Here's a 4-letter word. Again, not too hard. Here's a 5-letter word. Let's assume we cannot get the answer. We're told the answer, and now we're back to a 4-letter puzzle. In this way, the puzzles that are generated by the program are always just about at the level we can handle. The program is much improved with a small amount of effort.